All right, good morning, everyone. This is Kenneth Price on Sunday, April 23rd. This is our Sunday morning Zoom call for psychiatricsobriety.com. I have lost count as to how many Zoom calls this is. I think we might be at about 74 Zoom calls for this particular Sunday morning, and I'm thrilled, and I have no plans. And I don't want to make any plans. We don't make plans here. We come together every Sunday morning on noon Eastern time, 9 a.m. Pacific time, and we're just a community of people who are fed up with all of our psychiatric diagnoses, our psychiatric labels. We're sick and tired of being sick and tired. So we're here, and we're emerging. We're emerging out of these mental illness stories. Some of us are still on pills. Pharmaceuticals. That sounds disrespectful. Some of us are still on pharmaceuticals. Some of us have completely gotten off all of our pharmaceuticals. I got off all of my pharmaceuticals in my late 40s, early 50s. It was all in my late 40s. I finally surrendered my very last pill. I'd been on those pills for 25 years, and I was on countless pills. And the general hypothesis in the allopathic model said I'd be on those pills for the rest of my life. These are the stories we all come in here with, anti-anxiety, mood stabilizers, tranquilizers, ADHD. A lot of us have been, had the experience of being polydrugs. So we don't focus on the problems here. We don't go into our symptoms, and we really don't go into our stories. We'll share our testimonies if it's uplifting, but we come here once a week to share our experience, strength, and hope, our tools and our resources. And we come here to express. We come here to get honest, and we come here because I found a better way. None of that turned out to be true in my story. I wasn't mentally ill. Maybe the dream character had all of that, but the allopathic model only deals with the five senses. Hear, taste, touch, smell, and those are four senses. There's one more, but we're more than that. We're a lot more than that. And when we begin to dive deep, when I began to dive deep, I didn't need any of that nonsense anymore. Basically, when I got reconnected, this has got to be a spiritual journey for all of us. I can't emphasize that enough. That's why I call this a ministry. And the reason I call it psychiatric sobriety is because I'm a 12-stepper from way back. And it's not religious. We're not here, we're not looking for some outside savior to come rescue us. We're here but we are here to have faith, that trust. What are you going to trust in? Well, 12 steps call it a higher power. Some people call it a friendly universe. So I throw in disclaimers, but I don't think they're as necessary now as when I first began. But the disclaimers are very simple. We're not here to tell anybody they need to get off their meds, and we're not here to protest psychiatry. In the very beginning, I was attracting a lot of people from the benzo withdrawal recovery communities. That's kind of become very far and few in between now. As this ministry progresses, people just come in here who want to get to work. It took a lot of work to emerge, out of all my victim stories. My mental illness can, and if you get down to it, it is a victim story. Although if you're in the story, I'm not going to, we're not going to criticize it, we're not going to go, oh, it's a victim story. That's not what we do here. But when I finally got honest, I realized it was a victim story. I had to take full responsibility. It's a full responsibility. How do we do that? Well, just, it's been documented on over 70 of these calls, and I just got a YouTube channel. I just teach what I need to learn. I just teach what I need to learn. I just, I can't love myself until unless I get to share the love with others. So that's basically what happens here. It's kind of ham-winded. All right, we're almost done with the introduction. Because it's a ministry, I say the healer's prayer at the beginning of each video. And the healer's prayer comes from the Course in Miracles, and it goes like this. We are here only to be truly helpful, and we are here to represent him or her who sent us. We do not have to worry about what to say or what to do, because he or she who sent us will direct us. We are content to be wherever he or she wishes, knowing that he or she goes there with us, and we will be healed as we let him or her teach us how to heal. That's my introduction, folks. I got it done in 5 minutes. How are you, Jenny? How are you, Greg? How was your week? What's coming up? What do you want to talk about?
Let's go with Jenny first. Oh, there's Grace.
Good morning.
Hi, Jenny.
I'm a little bit, before I share, I'd like to know how to share without sharing a story.
What a beautiful question. You know, let's wait and see if Grace can, beloved. I see she's connected. You know what, Jenny? Perfect. That's the prayer. How do we share without going into our stories? Good question. Greg, how do you think we can share without going into our stories?
I don't know. What do you want to share about?
Well, I've been supposedly manic for the last few weeks, and my husband took me to the San Diego VA last Wednesday to get evaluated and possibly admitted to the psych ward. And I went through the process. I was completely honest. And at the end of the day, they didn't want to admit me, not because I didn't need to be admitted, but because they didn't want to do the paperwork involved. And so they said, come back, take some Haldol and come back in a couple of days and come early in the morning so that we don't have to stay late doing paperwork. And then you might have a chance at getting admitted.
Yeah.
Beloved, are you here yet? I see a mute button. Can you unmute yourself? Because Jenny has a very valid and valuable question we're putting to the group this morning. As a matter of fact, Jenny, I think you found the topic for the whole Zoom call.
Well, you mean you don't want to get into the I don't know. You don't want to get into the depths of you want to keep it light? Is that what you're saying, Jenny?
It's just that everything is a story at the end of the day.
That's perfect, Jenny. That's true. Who's the one who's telling the story about Jenny? You know, maybe I ought to turn it into a question that I can ask you. Who's the one who's telling the story about Jenny, you know, not being admitted, you know, because they didn't want to do the paperwork? That's a great story, Jenny. I love that story. I've got tons of those. So who's the one, you know, maybe we should be asking who's the one that's telling the story.
Well, that's a really good question, and it's very difficult to answer.
If it were easy to answer, that, Jenny, the whole human race would be in a much better place than it is right now, because most humans are not asking themselves that question. Most humans are busy telling the stories, but when the stories become this painful, then we start to ask ourselves the one difficult question, which is essential, is who's the one telling the story? And but you know, it's got to be asked with all right. This is where I can come in. All right, so let me share with you what Jenny, maybe I can answer the question by sharing with you what my week looks like. All right, so I've been in my stories all week. Yeah, me too. I've been in my stories. Now, I popped open a Keith Kavanaugh video. He's a Course in Miracles teacher. He's picking up where Kenneth Wapnick left off. And so I have been overworked, and I've been blaming the ministry, and I've been, you know, woe is me, I have to do everything. Now, I mean, I know from my spiritual training that's victim. And Keith made it very clear. He said, no, you know, and I said, well, I should be choosing this, you know, I should be choosing spirit. I shouldn't be in victim. I should be choosing, well, the one who was making that statement was the ego. The victim was the one trying to get the victim, you know, back in line. It didn't work. But Keith Kavanaugh pointed to me a metaphysical tool. He said, you can look at this victim story, and you can know that you've chosen the victim, and the same can be applied for our mental illness or you know, mental hospital stories. He said, that's fine. It's fine to have those stories. It's fine to have the victim story. He said, what he counsels others to do is to look at it with the Holy Spirit. That's all we have to do. It was a game changer for me this week. It didn't stop my victim stories, but I was now doing the work. I was looking at the story with a mighty companion. Because what he explained is that, we can't just snap out of our stories. Most of us can't. Most of us have to gradually set the groundwork to begin the unwinding. And this is how he counseled to set the groundwork. So Jenny, you and I can join on that. We can just notice together, you've got your, I call it Great Spirit, Holy Spirit, Great Spirit, doesn't matter. You've got Holy Spirit, maybe I've got Great Spirit, but the next time these stories begin to come up, have this angel on your shoulder who's watching the story with you. It's a way that we can step back, it's the way to disarm the story so we can get back into the audience and be the observer of the story itself. I mean, whether you're in a mental hospital, whether you're at home taking Haldol, whether you're here in Ohio building stairs, whether you're, a corporate executive earning 6 figures, whether you're Mother Teresa, they're all dream characters.
Right.
And what we've been led to believe is that one dream character might be, more, philanthropic than another dream character. One dream character might be more evil than another dream. It doesn't matter. Some dream character is supposed to be good. Some dream, when you really get down to it, I'm hoping Beloved comes on because she asked me a question. She used the word cartoon character, dream character, they're the same things. So in your Act 11, scene 4, it was on a Saturday, I don't know, Friday or Saturday night, that your dream character was written in the script, that you were supposed to go to your husband was supposed to take you to the VA hospital. You were not supposed to be admitted because it was all pre-scripted, Jenny. There was nothing you could have done about it. What you could do is to how you perceive it. I mean, that's your decision. It was already pre-scripted, that you were not to be admitted because of paperwork they were going to send you home with Haldol. Now, the only choice left is, are you going to enjoy the ride or are you going to resist the ride?
The ride continues.
Yeah, I think we all of us by this time. And when this is kind of like this is the sleight of hand trick, is that when we start to just say, fine, great, wonderful, allow it, that's when the ride gets bored with us. If we start, it truly is counterintuitive, but when we stop resisting the ride, or whatever you want to call it, ride, call it, the ego, I don't care what it's called, but if we can find the courage and the faith to trust it, then it disappears very fast. That's the formula for emergence.
What's
So you're
beloved
saying
eating?
that? Are you saying you should trust your ego?
I didn't say that. No, I said you trust.
You trust, yeah.
You trust the angel companion.
I use the word angel. And part of the reason for this group, Jenny, is it's hard work because our habit is to resist. Our habit is to combat. Our habit is to say no. And we're going in the opposite direction. We're going to say yes now. It takes, the old adage, it takes a village to raise a child. It's taken this man, mighty companions to stay to keep doing this and keep doing this. And one of my mighty companions is Beloved. And if she unmutes herself, can you unmute yourself? And I can't see. Can you turn your camera down a little?
I think she doesn't want to be seen eating. Yeah.
Oh, eating. Oh, last time she was eating noodles. She got 2 hands.
Beloved said that she says grace, and I'm just
Grace.
curious what that entails.
The
Well, we've had lots
beautiful
of-
thing about grace is that it's not of you. This is really what we're all here to say. Whatever efforting, we all efforted to get where we are, you know. So beyond what we can do is source, God, love, whatever you call it. And you know what, I put a link, I don't know if y'all listened to it, but it talked about the intellect is limiting. And all of us are intelligent people. I'm sure we can, you know, we're literate and we've read blah, blah, and we're all ego in our head, but this cannot be done in the head. This cannot be done with the intellect. And did you see this gigantic manic depressive illness book I had? And I put, you know, that's the intellect. That's the intellect saying, oh, you're going to solve this? Let's give you this big tome. It's going to take you like 20 years to go through and find all what's wrong with you. It ain't saying nothing right. It's just defining the fault that it created and that we all co-creating together. So the intellect's not our answer. The intellect, that's not what we're here. All the smart people don't, you know, your intellect, I don't care how many books it doesn't matter. It's like money, it doesn't matter here. Here we're all about the mind, which we all share. And somehow we found there's a mental. So we got a mental to our mind, and it was called mental illness. But the mind we all share, that's the ineffable, you know, put your finger on it, you can't, you know what I'm saying? It's ubiquitous. It's God, but we cannot understand it with the intellect. The intellect was created by that mind. So how's it gonna ever understand your spirit? Those emotions, those things, and that's the only thing that's true. That's all I'm coming here to say that was an aha moment to me, is knowing that my intellect is not going to solve any of my problems here in the world. It keeps you in it. Your intellect keeps you here within all your 3D problems. That great old intellect we all worship here keeps you limited. Grace takes you beyond it. Grace propels you to something you didn't expect. That's what grace is. Grace is you couldn't plan for it. It's not from you. It's God's grace to give you a smack and a clue. And it's beautiful. It's not a smack. It's just like this you get a glimpse of the truth. That's grace. That's what I call grace. That's the miracle. In the midst of all your boom, you fall asleep, you wake up, you forgot all your shit. You're like, oh shit. I don't know. It might be a second, then all your shit comes back. Oh yeah, you know, that's so I call that grace. It's not of your control, but you can invite it in. You can be a portal. You can connect, and it cannot come from your head, it comes from your heart. So we're all here we're talk from the heart, really. The heart is what we are here, and that may be more understandable than A Course in Miracles. You know, A Course in Miracles to me is how I am retraining this ego intellect to bypass that and get into my heart-centered self, my true self. My true self wants what we all want: peace, joy, love, happiness, coherence. The lesson today, A Course in Miracles, is I am my one self. I'm one self. I'm not all these people. Oh, I should do this, I should do that. I'm not that. That's your intellect. The intellect has to take a break, give it a break, give it something to do, you know, and so your higher self, and that's where creativity comes in. That's where getting out your head, that's what that means. Get out your head. Get out your head and get into whatever gets you out your head. Right? I'm going dancing today. I cannot wait, because I ain't gonna be in my head on that dance floor. I'm gonna be sweating. I'm gonna be woohoo! I'm gonna be in the, you know. That's what we're called to do. You're not going to find it nowhere. It's not going to be in a book. You can't study about it. You can't, you know, oh my God, no. Grace means you drop into your heart where all of it is, all of yourself is, your whole self, all the answers, all it can't hold in the intellect. This is like a computer hard drive. How much do you think God can put in here? And I'm just pointing to this because it's not true.
You know, I was so thrilled last night when David Hoffmeister, it was yesterday, not last night, David Hoffmeister, boy, he addressed artificial intelligence.
That's us, by the way. I'm just going to say, okay, I'm going to stop. Go ahead.
No, well, I'm glad you're right. And that was my hypothesis that, you know, the further I started, I realized my brain, I mean, now that they've described what's coming, this artificial intelligence, why should I be frightened? I'm already in artificial intelligence. The brain is. What I think what Beloved's trying to say, Jenny, is we're noticing that this is just the same as that GPT-4 that's becoming self-aware, except that we have the capacity to stand back and to notice to notice it. And that's what Beloved's trying to point to. And that was what I was trying to point to also. It's you know, it's kind of like we've had the lights turned out. It's like we've been sleeping for our entire lives. You know, our parents were sleeping. And it's finally like we're beginning to see, oh my goodness, I'm not the, you know, in your case, I'm not the one who's been, you know, denied admittance to the mental hospital. In my case, oh my goodness, I'm not the one who had that, you know, gay coming out in the AIDS pandemic story in 1985. You know, Beloved be, oh my goodness, I'm not the one who had that raised in foster care, or Greg would have that one. I'm not the one who had that, you know, on benzodiazepines. All of us can get together and say, wait a minute, these stories just might not be true. And these stories, you know, in order to have mental illness, you have to have a story. And that's where the grace starts to come in. You know, those rays of light come from a place. That's why I said the five senses. They're not to be found in the five senses. There's a crack of light coming in. You just raise your hand, Jen. Did you want to say something?
I was just curious, who did you say was raised in foster care?
Well, Beloved down there shared her story about foster parents. Jody's
I
already
was
shared
also.
Can I go?
It's your turn, Greg.
Okay. I don't know. Just today, I'm just realizing how slow recovery can be. It's so slow. And how humble.
The ego likes to put it into categories of slow and fast. I've got an ego that likes categories too.
Well, it's just it's hard to stay humble. You know, I want to do it all at once. I want to live my whole life right now.
Well, let's back out and say, you know, yeah, my ego wants to do it all at once, and my ego finds. See, maybe we can steer this call to these. See, this is the ego trying to you know, the ego speaks and comes up with this its own language. So, you know, I once posted back even before Facebook, you know, I was writing my friend back and forth Gmails, and I posted at the very bottom, it was when I was still coming off drugs. I mean, medications. I don't want to call them drugs, medications. And the phrase I said that to capture truth is to learn another language. And Jody's really good with this. Maybe she can speak to it. A lot of what we're being called to do is to work on our language. You know, it's hard, or it's going to take time. You know, let's see if we can find a more empowering words that would describe, because right now I think you're trying to share with us you're feeling something.
Yeah.
Kind of like get back to the feeling wheel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know, I mean, I'm an ambitious, idealistic perfectionist.
Your ego has ambitions, and your ego has imperfection. Great. You see the same as Jenny. You're noticing your ego right now.
Yeah.
You know, if you were the one who was ambitious, and if you were the one who was perfectionistic, how would you know it? So that can't be. I mean, Greg is a dream character. Who's the one who's able to notice, you know, the dream character? I I don't expect an answer, but I hope we can use this time to start asking ourselves the one question is, who am I? If if you didn't believe you were ambitious, and if you didn't believe you were a perfectionist, and if you didn't believe it was hard, if you didn't believe it would take time, it would not fuel the ego, and the ego needs fuel. And we like when I was in treatment, the counselor had 2 wolves that she put in a circle. She put a white wolf and she put a dark wolf. And she just asked us the question. She said, which one of these wolves do you want to feed today? And we unconsciously have been feeding the dark wolf with, it's hard, it's going to take time, I'm a perfectionist, and this is the kind of fuel that the dark wolf needs. And we didn't know it. I mean, because they told us, we went to public school, they told us to feed dark wolves. Sorry, there I go again at public schools. But so, we're here to capture truth is to learn another language. We're here to learn that poor white wolf says, if you just feed me, I got lots of, that grace. The dark wolf poops on us. The white wolf, gives us, jumps on us with puppy dog kisses, but we got to feed the white wolf.
You got to turn to the light. It can't come in with the shutters drawn. Sorry. So you're going to feel bad as long as you're in there moping with the shutters down. Go out. Are you doing your drives? What is your life that you're missing? You told us you had a wonderful life. I thought you had a wonderful life. I mean, that is how you have to see it. You cannot judge it. Your intellect is telling you, and it's not even yours. That's the dastardly thing. Oh, do I have to have a house? Do I not have to have a house? Do I need to have this to be successful? Do I need to have money? All that shit is irrelevant. The why. You think if you're somewhere else in some kind of other car, you're going to feel like this. God is saying, the universe is saying, where you at is where you at. Wake up to reality. Your power is here. And grace say help. Grace comes with I say help. That's when grace can come. When you ain't no help, and ain't no help for you. No, nobody can, they can't open the windows and open the shutters. You got grace, grace can, but you have to open to help. That is what we're here talking about. We cannot, we're gonna stop you. We're here to talk about the real selves that we're coming here to heal. We can't talk about, when you get financially stable in your own place, kumbaya will come. Hell to the no. If you don't get it where you at now, where you think you're gonna move, it's gonna help? Nothing's gonna change. I used to think, oh my God, if I got out this situation, my whole life would change. It changes from within. That's all I'm saying, Greg. It's the withinness that we're calling to. We're calling to the light in all of us. We're here to see the light in you, and I see the light in you. I see the love in you. I see the power in you now. I don't know. You couldn't have told me you were on drugs. I would have known nothing. If I met you, I would say, oh, what a cool dude. I would have known until you told me your list that you was on this, that, the other. I wouldn't have known. That's all I'm saying. We're gonna have to put a billboard on I'm mentally ill, or I have issues. I don't know. Tell that to me, because I'm gonna see you and treat you like a normal person. Give you a big old hug. What's up, Greg? What's up? I'm not gonna know that you miserable and wanting to, shut me up. I don't know. You're gonna have to tell me that. That's all I'm saying. Sorry.
You want to say something, Greg? I heard you say something.
Go ahead.
Nothing. I mean, it's not something. I don't know. Never mind.
Great, Jody. Jody being so quiet over there.
Well, it's just hard for me to take it slow.
Greg,
the whole time I've been doing this, it's just like been go, 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 go. And I think it's part of the benzo brain, but I mean, and I was taking those Bach formulas to the point to where, I had to slow down and stop. And it's just been rush, rush, rush. So it's been hard for me to take it slow, because it seems like there's something that's just like some sort of impending doom that's going to be there if I don't do it right now. And that's been one of the biggest struggles is I want independence and I want health and I want it right now. Somebody told me about, what was his name? From Queen. What was that guy's name, the singer?
Freddie Mercury.
Yeah, he said that I heard a quote from him. I want it all and I want it all right now. And that's like been my attitude the whole time. And I'm not, it's like I can't take myself and just, oh, shut up, Greg. It's hard. It's hard for me to make myself quit, and just shut the hell up and
But
take it
can you
slow.
say, I love you, Greg? Can you say, I love you, Greg? I love you, Greg. I love you. You are the coolest dude. Can you say that? Can you say,
Yeah.
oh, really? You think I'm a cool dude? Can you say something nice about yourself? That's what I hear. I want to hear how
Yeah.
beautiful you think you are. That's all
Well,
I want to
I-
hear.
I-
And your cool taste in music. That video, that last chick, who was that? I want more. She was like, wow. She rocking that gray hair too, and she got the
yeah.
That was very cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I want it all.
There you go, smile. See, start laughing. We can start laughing at ourselves.
Yeah.
I was telling my roommate out, outside this morning, 90% of life is just showing up, Greg. You show up every week. It's suitable show up. You get a clap from beloved.
I think a big thing for me though is I think the reason I want it all right now is because I'm in fear of the situation I'm in. I think everything is going to fall apart. I think that if I don't, I think me and Jody talked about this. If I don't just do it all, yeah, I guess that's it. Just fear, impending doom, and all that stuff. Financial health, I want it right now, and yeah, that's me. I guess that is the ego.
And how
I'm assuming things are going to be a certain way, and so far I'm not homeless. I thought I would be. So far I'm not dead. I thought I would be. I will say this though. The positive side is that I have made a hell of a lot of progress. I mean, shit.
you got a cheering team down there with beloved.
I know. Thank you, beloved. I'm just.
You want to switch cameras for the
I
archive.
wish I had my pom-poms.
Mm.
I used to be a cheerleader.
Greg, I got a secret to share with you. My roommate and I both have this is like, this is like the most common fear, Byron Katie deals with this all the time, future, I'm going to be broke. I'm going to be destitute. This is one of the, we should categorize the fears that people have in this. And, it's just a canary in a coal mine to bring us back to the present where beloved's got the pom-poms. I know it sounds, I don't want to sound all Pollyanna, but I was on the phone with one of my mentors this morning. I'm just telling you what he told me. He said, basically get in the present moment. And I don't know how to do it either. So I come, I host these calls once a week so we can all get together and do it together. I just think, I was talking with the ministers yesterday and he said, just work all day and play David Hoffmeister videos all day. Well, duh, I do that anyway. I just keep this message is going in my head, with YouTube videos, with speaker videos. I just keep the messages spinning. That's how we've got to unwind. I want to say reprogram, but I'm careful with my words because we don't need any more programs. We need to, maybe I'm not saying black and white, but we just got to unprogram all this nonsensical stories that are generating the fear of future, regret of past. Remember the 12 steps. We intuitively know how to handle situations that used to baffle us. Help me out, Greg. What are the promises and the 12 steps?
I never got into that part. I heard there is. Yeah, AA has promises. Yeah.
If you are painstaking about this phase of your journey, you will be amazed before you are halfway through. You are going to know a new freedom and a new happiness. You will not regret the past nor wish to shut the door on it. You will intuitively know how to handle situations which used to baffle us. You will intuitively know how to handle situations which used to baffle us. There's more, but the promises are when they would hand out those readings at 12-step programs, I would grab the promises because they're the reading at the end of every, and it basically just says, when you get reconnected, here's what you got to look forward to.
I love that. And let me bring that back to reconnection, because like when you're down, you can't access this shit. This shit's just going to annoy you and piss you off and make you say, shut the fuck up. Leave me alone. I know I'm destitute and I'm going to be on the street, so don't fuck with me. But you know what I found out? There's also something called coherence. We can check in with ourselves. So I often talk about the maps of consciousness, right? So you can see where you're at. If you're under 200, nothing good is going to come up. You're not, make sure you're going towards courage. Make sure you're going, and you're not going digging yourself deeper into despair and the things that go down. That's a clear scientific ladder you can see. Also, there's this thing called coherence. It's an optimal physiological state. So we're talking science again. Coherence, and this is heart math. So you can research heart math. I'm really big into this because it's very helpful. And what it's saying is to get out of your head into your heart.
Right.
So it starts with just focusing on your heart. Then you start breathing through your heart. Then you think of beautiful thoughts. That's it. 3 steps. I did that before I joined the call today, just to make sure, how am I doing? And you can get feedback. It's a machine. And I love feedback because who's going to believe me? But you'll believe this little machine that shows you the graph of when you're in coherence. It's biofeedback, right? So we all, but don't we like that? The ego loves the proof. The intellect loves it. Oh, it's science. Oh, okay. But all I'm saying is, know that you are not in a position to figure anything out when you're feeling bad. That is the number 1 through 10 red flag. You're not going to come up with no good ideas. Ain't nothing good. Everything's going to annoy you. That is probably going to help you and all that stuff. So you're going to have to get yourself in coherence. Do you really want help? Do you really want light? Do you really want truth? Then you're going to have to align with that shit to get it. Otherwise, you're going to bounce it off of you. It's just going to bounce off. You're not going to be available to it. That's what I'm saying to all of us here. If we get out of our way, we're here to get out of our way, get into our hearts so we can trust ourselves, get into alignment. Do we really want health? What was that going to look like? What's it going to look like when we don't have our crutches and shit? What are we going to look like when we can't tell our sad stories and introduce and weave it somewhere in there in the first 5 minutes of introducing me? And by the way, I'm bipolar. So if I curse you out, don't worry about it. Yeah, I don't know. However you introduce yourself, that was my line. All I'm saying is, what I'm finding is, and I'm always telling us, healthy habits, blah, blah, blah. We know what we do, blah, blah, blah. But hold yourself accountable. How you feeling? Know that. If you're in a dark place, reach out like Kenneth does. Reach out to somebody, put on some music, throw yourself outside. You're in the dark place. You're not going to find nothing but what the ego serves. Terroristic thoughts curated for you. Terroristic threats just for you. That's what you entertaining there. That's why it's mental illness, because they don't know how to stop us from destroying ourselves. So they give us drugs. It was honest. I ain't blaming nobody. You start to stop somebody from banging their head into the wall. You're going to drug them. You're going to restrain them. You're going to put them in the mental hospital.
Greg, I want to share something with you. Kathy, are you with us this morning?
Kathy.
Oh, can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, Kathy, may I have your permission? I won't go into details. Can I have your permission to share just the parameter and the scope of that call we had 2 nights ago?
Oh my God. I don't remember right now.
I'll share with you because there was something beautiful. I'll just keep it real general. And Greg, this is going to tie into that call that you and I had, last year when I was driving through the gorge. Kathy posted on the support chat. She left a voice message, basically doing what I requested others do, is to reach out for help. And it was Kathy, the timing was just perfect, spot on, because I had just woken up from a nap and I was just completely refreshed, and I hadn't made any plans yet for the latter part of the day. Where it was evening. It was evening time here. I read your message. I had a couple drinks of coffee, and our conversation, when you reached out, you were there was a low vibration. When we got done, we were both laughing. That's how I want this support to work. You were honest. You shared, it hurts, I'm scared, I'm lonely, and we met in that place. And I does the specifics of the call don't matter, except where, when we ended the call, we were both, I was uplifted and you were uplifted. And Greg, remember that call we had in the, it's very seldom when we actually reach out and have, a witness for the real deep shadow work. But that's also where, that's when we rise the highest, when we make those connections. I think the point I wanted to make is that I can't explain why I was in such a place of extension when Kathy called, but it was a synchronistic connection. So, that's why Beloved's name is Grace. Trust. And you guys have all heard my stories too. I keep finding them everywhere. Go on my website and read the book, or the essay, which has all the spelling errors. Jenny, raise your hand.
I didn't really get to finish my story. I'll go ahead, Kathy.
No, it's okay. Finish.
Well, since I didn't go to the hospital and I've been home, I've been forced to slow down because I have a big, huge blister on my foot. And so in order for that to heal, I have to try to stay off my feet. And it's been good. It's helped me calm down, but it's torture at the same time because I still want to go here and go there and do this and do that. But I feel like I have to give myself a chance to heal.
Yeah.
Kathy, you want to say?
Go ahead.
Say something? Kathy, I think you were gonna say something. I want to give each person equal opportunity.
I don't know. Thank you for that call. Yeah, I was very triggered visiting family. I was on my way home and whatever, all kinds of other stuff. And when I feel that way, especially after visiting family, I feel so small. I don't want to talk to anybody. I just want to fucking hide. So it took a lot of courage to reach out on the chat, and the reception I received was friggin' amazing. Like it feels like I'm in the right place now, because I received, a bunch of messages saying, do you want to talk? We can talk here. I can call you, whatever. And then you called like right away, and that's all I needed. Like it's fucking crazy what goes on in my head when I'm alone, but when I'm, with someone else who is awake and enlightened and compassionate, it's easy, right? Like you just, the right person called, and I'm so grateful.
And I could not have been awake, enlightened, or compassionate had you not called. You see, the only time you can be awake, enlightened, compassion is when you're sharing and awake, enlightened, compassion. Otherwise, I would have been lonely in the same place as you. When I'm alone, I get the same place, Kathy. We've got to have mighty companions who we can be authentic with, cry with, laugh with. We can't keep it unless we give it away. This is not what our family taught us. This is not what they taught us in public schools. It's what we're learning in our 50s, 60s. Beloved, look at that smile, beloved Scott.
One thing that you said that made a lot of sense to me is because I'm a mess when I visit my family.
Me too.
You said if you share your feelings with your friends, they'll embrace you, and if you share it with your family, they'll call 911.
No, well, sort of. Those weren't exactly my words.
No, it was. It was.
Okay. If we share,
it's true. It's happened. So
it's because this is, families oftentimes, sometimes people have very supportive, uplifting families, but most of us, the families are there to push us And then this community is here to pull us. We need our families to push us, by
Yeah.
pushing all of our buttons, by not being interested in our awakening, by, calling us mentally ill, because that's the way it is. Once we say yes to, my family's never going to wake up, and I got to love that too. That's part of my script. It's like acceptance on steroids. Yeah, this stuff we bring to our mighty companions. I like the word mighty companion. Compañeros poderosos.
Mhm.
My very first sponsor decades ago, she very clearly, she even said, I said, I'm looking for a boyfriend who I can share this stuff with. And she said, huh? She said, you think I can share this stuff with my husband? She said, no, he's my husband. He's not my support network. She goes, I go elsewhere for the support. I husband over here, support over here. And the first time I realized, different companions come in and fulfill different roles.
Yeah. What's Jody thinking? Jody?
Jody's been quiet the whole time. You all right, Jody? She's just smiling. I think she just wants to listen today.
Okay.
So I'm moving in 6 days,
Oh.
and I'm really noticing in 2 days, it's my 11-year anniversary for coming off of all of the drugs. 10 years I was polydrugged, 13 drugs I had to come off of. I got to come off of. And so, I've been on this really huge journey, and it's amazing how far I've come. And it's amazing how quickly I slip back when under stress.
Me too.
And so what I'm really working with this week particularly is that it's okay to not be okay for a little while. And even as I say this, like I'm shaking, because I have this belief that it's not okay. I think that certainly because I've come so far, I shouldn't be here. And there's that should word, right? And that's a red flag. As soon as I start shoulding myself, it's a red flag. And so, yeah, it's just amazing to me how far I've come and how quickly I can slip back, and the work. Greg, you say it's hard work. It is, but you can look at that as in a positive way or as in a negative way, right? We always have a choice what meaning we're going to put behind it. We always have a choice where we're going to put our focus. So as soon as I catch myself, as soon as I have awareness that I'm slipping back, I have a choice.
Oh
And
God,
that's where the work is, right? It's difficult. It's challenging. You know what was hard? When I was living in fucking hell and there was no way out. That was hard. And so I keep reminding myself, as soon as I have that awareness and I catch that I've slipped back into whatever it is, I'm like, wait a second. Perspective. Sometimes I look at myself and I look back at where I was and I go, yeah, wow, that was fucking hard. I'll take this challenge any day of the week.
Yeah.
And when that doesn't work, I think of the people who are homeless right now, living with mental illness and drug addiction on the fucking street right now. And I use that for some perspective. Because we always have a choice how we're going to look at it. And then we have a choice what we're going to do with it. And you know what I choose to do with it? I dance. I get that energy out of me. I cultivate the joy on the journey. Everything that Beloved talks about. I take notes. I try it on. And you know what? It works for me, so I do it. I want it all too. And I'm working really hard every fucking day to get it. And you know what? I'm there. What's stopping me? Like, that's the only question that you have to answer. You say you want it all? Great. What's stopping you? You already have it all.
I was gonna
What-
say we're there.
what's
There is
stopping-
here now. We are
Exactly.
Jody. Yay, you are
So-
awesome. You are
So
awesome.
where's my focus? Right? I got all of this stress going on right now. I'm on this healing journey. I have this anniversary coming up. There's so much. What am I choosing to focus on? That's where the power is. That's where my power is. That's where your power is. What am I choosing to focus on right now? Right here, right now is my only PowerPoint. The past is gone and the future's not here yet. Right here, right now is my PowerPoint.
And answer your why. Why are you choosing to focus on that? Why is that so important? Are you feeding something that you might not? This is what my therapist brought to me. She's like, your meanness and your vindictiveness and all your shit, you done honed that to a fine skill. But do you want it? Is that what you want to carry with you to the ascension? Do we want to carry all those? You cannot carry that baggage into heaven. It's going to have to be transmuted into the blessing that God allowed us to get through this big setup of our trauma. I don't know how to say it, right? Everything is God. Everything is good. Everything that we think, believe, dreamed into happening, we're going to have to forgive because we know it didn't happen. That's the only way you can't make it real and honor it and all this stuff and think you're going to get over it and forgive it. You cannot. If you're a cartoon character, you're a cartoon character, but who is the you that drew the cartoon character? If you're a Jody, then who's the Jody? But who's the Jody who's calling you to your higher self, who you know when you know you're going down? This is who we're going to, and this is what Jody's saying. That is when the work isn't done. We're not here going, oh yeah, I done made it. No, thank you. You will see if you made it, because guess what? The setup will come again. Something's going to come that's going to trigger all your programs, your stress. I'm going, oh my God, I got all those, and I saw that. I saw the money thing come up for me. And I'm like in my 20s with 3 kids and insane again, just like that. All my Course in Miracles, but at least I ground myself in Course in Miracles, and I do my lessons every day. I do have I am vigilant. I'm vigilant. I don't want to slip down a little bit because that magnetic for me is very strong. And answer your why. I had to look at my why. Why do I want to keep this old poor foster kid story going? Why? Why am I sharing my bipolar story? Why? I need to know why. I want to know whether it's the ego's using it or whether my true self is using it. You see, this story can be to keep us limited and sad and victims, or like, Kenneth's trying to tell us we butterflies. Let's fly, let's fly, let's fly, we butterflies. What?
See, and look what's happening. Kathy's laughing, Beloved's laughing. Greg, I can't see you anymore, but I hope you're just smiling, getting a shot. This is what I'm so glad. Jody, I'm so thrilled you shared, because stress puts me back too in mind. Again, everyone's heard me sing Simon and Garfunkel. Hello, darkness, my old friend. Loud, all right, it's come back. Dream characters, clouds have come back in again. I think what was it that I posted on it was that I don't know, I'm always posting quotes on our sobriety, Facebook sobriety group chat. It was, wisdom is just simply healed pain.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I don't think any of us have it. And Kathy, thank you. What was that song, the title of that song you just posted in the group chat? I just saw it.
It's okay not to be okay.
Thank you. It's okay not to be okay. How about Grover? I want to go back to simply. Let's go back to Sesame Street. Anybody see my Grover video? You're fine just the way you are, and you're lovable, and I love you. Grover. We don't need the Course in Miracles. We just need Grover to give us a big hug, a big blue monster Grover. Inner child, has anybody ever watched YouTube videos of what are those water otters? Have you ever watched video? If you listen, if all else fails, go on YouTube and say playful otters and find the videos that are just going to say those are the cutest, most mischievous, playful water creatures ever. They chase people. Otters jump out of the water. They chase people for fun. Play with us. Otters play with dogs. They jump out of the water and they start playing with Labrador retrievers. Ha! I bet you can't jump in the water like we can. So if you cannot go outside and dance, do otters. What else we got? I had ferrets. Greg, do you have any pets? If you don't have,
I need some though.
You listen. Stop all this. Let's stop all the metaphysics right now and go get a pet. And if your landlord says no, then go get a stuffed animal.
I want a dog.
Then go get a dog. Okay, we're gonna hold you to it. Go get a dog.
We'll share dog stories because my grandson's getting a puppy. So
yes,
I'll share my pain with your pain if you get a puppy.
Okay.
Please only get a dog if you know you can look after it properly.
Yeah, definitely.
If you can't even look after yourself right now,
yeah,
please just go find someone like Jenny who's got lots of dogs and go love on them.
Yeah,
borrow a dog. That's what I said. But go to the shelter and
I
borrow
do
a
believe
dog.
in training animals.
Animals are a lot of work. It's not all sunshine and rainbows. It's not all fun.
Yeah.
Okay, please be responsible. Thank you.
folks, we're wrapping it up. We only got about 4 minutes left.
Okay.
I don't remember. Jenny, I think were you the first one who shared who came up with a title for the Zoom call? I have to go back in the archive and come up with a title. But listen, this is what I love about it. We're all going through something. Jenny's going through something. Jody, Kathy, Greg, beloved, I think you just spent the whole time holding the space for us dancing. I'm going through stuff.
It don't mean I'm not going through stuff. We all are.
Thank you.
This is the nature of this 3D reality, people. Anybody, whenever you see me and I'm like, oh, everything's sunshine and roses, I mean, that's where I'm looking. Do you want me looking the shit? I'll tell you. You want to hear all my shit? We can bond over that, but that's not what we're here for. That's why I'm always trying to redirect tell us where you are. And then how, you want to see the light of it all, the gift of it all. Because what we're here to say that wherever you think you are, whatever horrible place, you're not. You're in the love of God. You cannot escape it. That is what you are. That's what you came from. We all did. And we are here to see that in our brothers and sisters. That's why we have to come together. Because if we can't see it in ourselves and say nice and wonderful, loving things to ourselves, then we have to turn to our brother Greg and tell him, oh, look at Greg, how wonderful and handsome and fabulous he is.
Yeah, he has all the hair. Greg,
look at that smile now.
Greg, if you feel bad, just look
We're
at me.
here to
I
see
have
the
no
light in
hair.
everybody. Jody to see the dancing Jody. All of us are here to see the light. That's why we're celebrating that. That's great.
Thank you.
Here's the topic.
My ego tells me, thank y'all for pulling me out of that, because my ego tells me, you don't understand, I'm different.
I know. Oh, I know.
Such a unique.
Yeah.
Mine says the same thing.
I too.
All right, that was it. You finally got the topic of the Zoom call. It took us 58 minutes. You're probably not unique.
Yeah.
You guys, I'm gonna wrap up the recording for Sunday, April 23rd. And psychiatric sobriety Sunday Zoom, probably 73. You know what? I've thrown numbers out the window. I lost count, about 72, 70. I don't care anymore. So if you're watching this on YouTube, leave your comments below. And more important than your comments, visit the website and come join us at 9 a.m. Pacific time on Sunday mornings. And that's it. God bless. May the force be